Hello. Same old. Actually, I've no idea if I've actually. Bollocks. Wait there while I. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Fine. So I didn't know whether I was using. It means nothing to you anyway, does it? um, yeah, pickups video. I'd actually recorded half of this last week, and I was going to upload it in 2 bits. Watched it back, and it was bored me to tears. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to offer up everything that was in that video because it wasn't actually game related. So I thought that people would turn off because of that. I'm going to offer up everything that was in that video, but sort of truncated. I'm going to edit it like really quick. Yeah. So just go through it really quickly and try and think of the salient points, the relevant points, the interesting points. I mean, interesting to me. It might not be interesting to anyone other than me, but most of this will be games. I've still got my wobbly little microphone stand. There was thought of getting another microphone. It is the microphone. It'll make a lot of difference with a better microphone, just convenience. Yeah, but whether or not, I mean, 50 quid, don't know. Just for a bit of hiss, and I could probably just get a microphone stand or something like a mace, not a mace. What am I talking about? A clamp or a mace. Where the bloody hell did that come from? What am I thinking of? The thing that you clamp to a workbench that holds wood in place. I know what it is. It's just I'm thinking of something totally different. But anyway, I could get one of those. They're probably cheaper than microphone stands. Actually, they're probably not. Or I could just stick with my coat hanger. Anyway, this was going to be quick. Right, ignore all that. Moving on to all the interesting stuff. Referenced in my very last pickups video, I don't know how far back we go now, over 2 months. Got these beauties, sexual chocolates. Yeah, these are Brooks Adrenaline GTS 14s. Got these from Amazon for 73 quid, which is about 30 quid cheaper than they would have been in a running shop. So if anybody's thinking of taking up running, go to a running shop, get your fit done. Although that might entail running up and down a busy high street with your jeans tucked up under your knees, rolled up under your knees. Not that I've done that at all. Not in a busy high street in the centre of London at lunchtime. I've not done that, and it wasn't embarrassing at all. But yeah, but at least I know my fit, and I was able to get the cheapest price possible because I went straight to Amazon, and Amazon had the cheapest price, and they were 73 quid, and they were cheaper than anywhere else. But anyway, so as my sexy running shoes. There's another thing I was going to show you in the last video, in the first version of this video. I totally forgot all about it and had to run upstairs. So there was about a minute or so of you looking at an empty chair. And I don't want to do that again, but I haven't got them with me. So I'm just going to say these one word: paper pants. Think of that what you will. Paper pants. Yeah. So. They were a memento from my operation, and I kept them because I thought they were quite funny, and I was going to show people. But couple of things that were connected to trying to use my old camera with the new computer. Got a firewire cable. It's a 9-pin, 4-pin firewire cable, which connects up to this. This is a little clue as to the make of my new computer. It's a Thunderbolt to Firewire adapter. So this 9-pin end goes into the end of the adapter, which goes into the back of the computer, and that end, the little end, the 4-pin end, goes into the camera, which is behind me there. So hopefully, I've not tested it. This might not even work, but hopefully, I'll be able to use my old camera behind me in exactly the same way as I used to. You know, which means I won't be. Actually, I know I never did use it anywhere other than sitting in front of the computer, did I? It was just a glorified webcam. But at least, maybe I might be able to, just go off my arse once in a while rather than having just this inbuilt camera. I am essentially stuck here. There's no option. It is this or nothing else. But anyway, I had a couple of CDs. Kid A from Charity Shop is £1. Also from the same charity shop, The Hives, my new favourite band. 2 albums I've never heard, never listened to. I don't think I've ever listened to this. This is a bit strange because I'm a big Radiohead fan. And The Hives, I know they're a bit of a joke, a bit of a naughty, but I really like their songs. And I hate to say I Told You So is a brilliant song. Really sort of, obviously it's a bit of a novelty rock song. But I like their whole persona, their whole sort of weird sort of comedy persona, comedy rock, sort of Mick Jagger crossed with Iggy Pop. The lead singer. He's a funny bloke. Good, obviously good front man, but obviously a bit of a joke. But my new computer doesn't come with a disk drive, so if I wanted to put these on my iTunes, I had to buy a separate DVD drive. So I didn't buy the own brand one. I bought a second-hand one, a Samsung one, which was about a third of the price. And eventually, I've only yesterday I tested it to see if it works to put these onto my iTunes, and it did work. But this was the first one I did, and it wiped my whole other iTunes library. I had no idea where it went. It says, "Would you like to import this to your iTunes library?" And I clicked on yes, and then instantly the rest of my songs had disappeared. So if anybody can tell me where they went, that would be very, very helpful. But it's not so bad because I just downloaded all the ones I'd paid for from the iTunes store straight away. So I've got them back. Just all I'm missing now are the ones that I transferred via CD, which is a big old catalogue of songs. So I'm going to have to go through that and transfer them one by one. Unless somebody can tell me where my songs might have gone. Because I just disappeared. It was my birthday. It's my birthday. What's the day? 22nd. It was my birthday a couple of weeks ago. A few weeks ago now. One of my main presents was this. Or actually, one of the main presents. One of my presents was this, which I've already watched. Really good. Can't recommend this more highly. As far as proper quality drama, it doesn't have the quality of something like a Mad Men, but it's more pulp, sort of fantasy fiction. And it's not difficult to follow, but it's harrowing, and it drains you by the end of this series. Jesus Christ, I wanted something happy to watch. So I went out and bought this from the charity shop. Cost me £3, but this hasn't been on my list. It's supposed to be really good. By the same guy, Drive. I always say Driver. It's Drive. Not watched it yet, but it's supposed to be pretty brutal and harrowing and violent. Masterpiece, dazzling, superb. Normally it says shitloads of violence. Hang on. Mesmeric, mad, brutal and brilliant, according to The Guardian. But it's Peter Bradley, who's my favourite film critic. These are all pretty much charity shop purchases. The first one I had for about a month or so before I bought anything else. It's a Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. I love this. I love the bit where they're trying to get into heaven and they quote, every rose has its thorn. It cracks me up. I prefer it to the first one, in fact. Modern Toss. This is essentially just sort of the animated version of the comic book sketches, the comic strips of just a cynical view of modern life. He's my favourite character. This one's called Alan. And he's basically a destructive bastard, malevolent bastard, and He basically ruins people's middle class lives by just breaking their shit in really elaborate ways. And every sketch ends with them going, "Come back, Alan, you wanker!" Joe Nesbo's Headhunter. See, I've taken all the prices off apart from one or two because I'd already, like I said, already shot this. Joe Nesbo's Headhunter. It's supposed to be really good. It's obviously one of these. We all love our Scandinavian thrillers and dramas at the moment, don't we, in the UK? And it's more of the same with along the same quality lines as something like Girl with Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson, but I think he's a corporate headhunter. I might be wrong about that. Corporate headhunter with a sideline in art theft, and it's supposed to be really good. Smart and stylish, deliriously entertaining. Thriller of the year. Taut, tense, and terrific. That is a Daily Mail, right? Daily Mail or Daily Mirror. And the disc holder of this was broken because it's a white case. I looked around in CEX for another white case, and I got this. But this is actually something I really wanted. So now I don't want to swap over the case, because I do really enjoy this. It's really good. It's basically him, who's like this geeky dude who sort of invents his own alter ego, who's a bit more of a suave bastard, but also a criminal. He's called, what's his name? Nick Twisp, and his alter ego's become some sort of suave French bloke. I think always got a French name, but he's always, like I said, he's a bit of a criminal. So now I'm going to have to buy another. This is only 75p, that's why I got it. So now I'm going to have to buy another one of these to swap over. So I've not got a loose disc with this. Or I could just stick some bubble wrap in it. That'd be better, wouldn't it? Bollocks. Excuse me. Last two DVDs. Shuffle. Last two DVDs. The final. Sorry, I hope that didn't come out on the sound. The final one in the original three. I've got one. It's called the Work of Director, I think, series. Essentially, the other two are Spike Jones, and Michel Gondry. This is Chris Cunningham, who's probably more famous for his videos. His videos are probably more famous than the songs, really, because he's worked with obviously Bjork for this one. I can't remember what song it's called. It's what was it? All Is Full of Love. So obviously the video is probably more famous than the song itself, but also things like Aphex Twin, Window Licker, and So now I've got the original three, all original three, which I'm really pleased with. And this is probably my favourite purchase of everything I've bought since my last pickups video. Purely, again, it was like that sun. It was like that a few videos ago. I bought that random DVD that I never thought I'd be able to get, and this is another one. This is a documentary from the BBC. I had no idea it was even on DVD, and I had a copy of it saved on my video for about 6 or 7 years, but I'd missed off the last couple of minutes. It really annoyed me, but it's probably one of my favourite documentaries. And I happened to see a copy in a charity shop. I tried to buy it, but it was in this cabinet, and for some reason it sort of crammed right in. Sorry. What was I saying? I've lost my train of thought. No, it was crammed right in, so I couldn't get to it. And the guy behind the counter was really unhelpful. He said, I said, "Excuse me, mate, give me some help." And he said, "Well, if you can get it out, if we got it in, you should be able to get it out." So I was like, "Oh, cheers, mate." But then there was never any threat of it. Never any threat of anyone buying it, just purely for the sort of DVD it is. It's a documentary called Dangerous Knowledge, and it's about four mathematicians and physicists who's they're looking into these sort of major themes. One of them, this is take some explaining. One of them's Alan Turing, who was at Bletchley Park during the Second World War, and essentially they look into these sort of major themes of. Let me try and explain. One of them is Kurt Gödel, who was at his work was to do with essentially it. He's basically sort of whipped the carpet out from under the basis of all scientific research because it was to do with subverting the idea of logic, because his work basically established and proved that logic wasn't sort of certain. Obviously it's just the basis of all scientific research. Not everything was provable, but not everything was. He proved not everything was possible to prove, but it was. You didn't know. Sorry, you didn't know what was provable and what wasn't provable. So you could embark on a series of research and never know whether or not it was what you were trying to prove was provable. And and another thing, Alan Turing. It was to do with infinity and things like that. All these sort of paradoxes. I already thought I thought I was going to go through this in like 5 minutes, but obviously I better not. I won't even try and explain any more of that. I don't really know it myself, so if I can't explain it and I don't know it, I just remember watching the the documentary, being blown away by it, not necessarily understanding every single word of it, but it was a lot easier. It was a lot easier watch than I assumed it would be. I thought it was going to be a drag. It's going to be something I felt worthy of watching. It was a worthy watch, so to speak. But I thought it was going to be a difficult watch. It was going to be a slog, but it wasn't at all. It was an hour and a half. It was just mesmerising, and really, I felt sort of slightly enlightened by it. It's called Dangerous Knowledge. There you go. You can watch it on Daily Motion or Vimeo. I think. I was just really surprised to find the DVD. But anyway, right. Sorry about this. Games. First two. NMA Manager 2002 and Premier Manager 98. Ooh. Yeah, just for the cases, they're 49p. And this was another one. This was £1. Yeah, it's £1 from Sheepdog and Wolf. I wasn't sure about this. I rarely buy games that aren't necessarily going to be played, and this would be one that I play, but it would be so far down the list. Really, it's a bit more conventional than the rest of the games in my collection. So, if anybody's been looking for this, it's not bad nick actually. It's not bad nick at all. If anybody's been looking, I might be willing to move it on, but I don't know. I'm still undecided. It was only £1. It's only £1, so yeah. Right. This one. It's a couple of what do we call it? Doubles here, so I won't take too long. This one, for instance, no, this isn't a double. This isn't a double. This is just a pile of shite. It's called Gorilla Strike. I saw this in. Where did I see it? I can't remember where I saw it. I saw a copy of it somewhere, and I had no idea. I just sort of took that, to mean it was a pile of shite because it's Phoenix Games in there, obviously, and looked on the back. And it's obviously a shooter. You're not going to see it. It's a vertically scrolling shooter. So I didn't take the gamble. It wasn't much of a gamble. I think the version I saw was about £2, and that's a gamble in my book, especially for a game from Phoenix Games. So I didn't go with it, but then I looked it up when I got home, and it was poor. Put it that way. It was a poor. Vertically scrolling shooter, so I think, but it was sort of like a novelty, so to speak. For shooter completists, I'm almost one of those. I'm not much of an expert and aficionado to be a shooter completist, but I'm an enthusiast, so I put it on the list anyway, just as a bit of a novelty, as sort of like so crap it's good sort of thing. And eventually I saw it again only for £1, so it was less of a gamble. But I've not actually played it yet. But check out some videos; it's really funny because it's so shite. The best thing about it is the noise that the exploding enemies make. There's no boss from the first level or the second level. I don't think it's just basically this banner pops up saying sort of end of level 1, and it looks like it's been written on Microsoft Paint. So. Two duplicates, that was the word I was trying to think of. First one, these came with the documentary, they were in the same, because I went back. I had to go back for the documentary because I left it a few days, and they were in these games I'm about to show you were in the same cabinet, and I went back for the documentary and it was still there. And when the shop wasn't so crowded, I had to dismantle the whole thing, dismantle the whole cabinet basically, just so I could get to this one DVD. I thought, while I'm here, I might as well have these two games that what I saw the first time, and they were still there, surprisingly, a bit of a surprise. And they're basically the two Champions of Norrath games, Champions games. And they're both 99p. There you go, 299p. And obviously these are duplicates. I don't know whether they're better versions than the ones I've got. They might be, because these are actually pretty decent nick. So I might have a look to whether or not I need to swap out constituent parts. But again, these will, essentially I will be ending up with a duplicate, so they might be worth, if anybody's interested in these, get in touch. And the same with this one. This one I couldn't really pass up. This is $1.99. It's a Haunting Ground. I think it's not quite as good as the version I've got, but again, I've got to check. But it's more. I bought them more because I couldn't really pass them up, and also you get sick of not ever finding anything. So, duplicate's better than nothing. Maybe make a bit of wonga on the side, a bit of wonga. These last, actually, one of them is a duplicate. Shall I bring out that first? No, because it's more interesting than the others. But this one, Half Minute Hero. This came from a PSP. This isn't a duplicate. This is obviously a keeper, but it's an RPG. It looks really good. It's essentially Half Minute Hero. You have 30 seconds. It's quite difficult to explain. It's a bit of a novelty. It's got this sort of really attractive sort of pixelated art style, retro sort of 8-bit pixelations, and essentially you have 30 seconds to beat every boss. But it's not simple as that, But that makes it unique. It's interesting, and it tries something different. And if you beat it, there's an extra difficult section where you have 3 seconds to beat every boss, and it's sort of pared down, but also it essentially takes away the whole sort of RPG grind section, but it's not so simplified as that makes it sound. I don't think it's not necessarily an entry level RPG, but it looks interesting. The art style is really attractive. There you go. That's one piece of PCP. This is a recommendation from what's his name? Champion 2D Rob, aka Tino777, aka Rob. Kim Possible. What's the Switch for £2? He says it's good. I've not played it, so whether or not Rob is a good judge of a game hangs on the balance still. 2 games from Awesome Games in Walthamstow. Two games that I didn't buy on my initial trip. I saw them and then left them, but I went back to them because I knew what they were, but I wasn't, I didn't know whether I wanted them or not. But then I went home and thought, I really want them, so I made my mind up. Helped me make my mind up. First one is TTC White's Legends. Doesn't look much, but bizarrely, it's a £25 to £40 game on eBay. Don't know why. No, it's just one of those games that captures people's imaginations. It's from 2008, so it's relatively late, but not even that late. It's got one of the soft cases, so it's a late game in that sense. But it's an expensive game, and I knew of it, and it was on my list, but it was only a £5. But I still left it. But then being at home helped me make my mind up. And this came from the same trip. It's Kirby's The Amazing Mirror. This was also a £5, but I wasn't too sure about this. I left it, but when he took it out of the cabinet, I looked at it and I thought, yeah, that looks legit. But I'm looking at it again. It does look legit. The only downside is that the label is ever so slightly out of line. Not so much as you often see, which really obviously out of line, but it's got all the Nintendo on the little circuit board, and it's got a number 19 printed on the top, and the print on the label is really nice quality. I think often the corners are quite rounded on the dodgiest labels, and these ones are okay. It's not an obvious rip-off. It's not an obvious hooky one. So I think it's just slightly out of line. I think it's legit otherwise. Finally, actually no, not finally. I'm going to go with this. No, stop that. No, this first. I went to visit my nan. She's not feeling too well. She's 93, so bless her. Went to visit her, but she had to go to the doctor's, so I had a bit of time, and went to this little collectible shop in Tunbridge Wells. Lives in Tunbridge Wells. It's called, what is it? Cosmic Cartwheels. If anybody knows Tunbridge Wells, it's along Camden Road. Go there because they've got a whole load of GameCube games for 20. This was 20 quid. It was 20 quid. But there, that's what I saw. I saw the side and it said with Zelda, which obviously I knew what that was. So 20 quid. I was prepared to pay that because I've got a bit of money for my birthday. But I've got this already, but I was missing the Zelda manual, and I looked inside and it's got everything in there. So essentially, this is a duplicate, but this is an upgrade. And my one was the only downside to my one. It was missing the Zelda manual, and also the seam along there had come away, so the plastic there would come away at that corner. So that was the only downside. Apart from that, it's a really nice neck. So that's obviously an upgrade, and so my version, which is up on my shelf, is available. Finally, it's actually quicker than I thought it might be, but it's still not as short as I would like. The second one of these I've got, saw it in a charity shop. Saw it in a charity shop. Had to pay my card, but couldn't afford it. So she said, no, they didn't take cards, that was it. Which reminds me of this story. I was going to get a copy of Final Fantasy III in my favourite branch of cash converters. It was $4.99. Took up the counter. He got the cart out, got everything. Then he said to me, sorry, mate. I tried to pay my card. Said, sorry, mate, it's a $4.99. £5 minimum, which surprised me because I've never had a minimum in the past. But then I thought, am I going to buy something else just to top it up to get to the minimum? There wasn't really anything else. I wasn't going to buy anything else just for the sake of it, so I left it. But I do have Final Fantasy III. So it wasn't that bad. It was just sort of a slight upgrade. But then then I thought to myself, on the way home, you cheeky bastards, because that shop and another branch nearby, they've got this policy of never giving you 1p change. If you need 1p change, they won't give it to you. No idea why. And it just made me think, it's just you cheeky fuckers. If I was paying with cash, if I'd paid £5 cash, you wouldn't have given me my change anyway, you cheeky fuckers. But really got my tits. But so yeah, I saw this in a charity shop. Didn't have the cash, so I had to run away. But luckily, she held it for me, and it's this beauty. My second shotgun. This is the only Wii shotgun you'll ever need. Annoyingly, it's a sort of a cheaper version than the American version. The American version's red and metal. This is white and plastic, and also it's undoubtedly totally impractical, but really good fun. I've got two now, so if anybody ever comes round to my house, we can have a good old go on House of the Dead Overkill, or we can have a shotgun and a hand cannon each. It doesn't get much better than that for House of the Dead Overkill, does it? But anyway, $2.99. Still, where's the price? $2.99. That's right. Oh, $2.99. There you go. Less than 30 minutes. I'm going to let it go. So thanks for watching, and there will be more videos coming up soon. Hopefully, this won't take too long to upload. I'll see you later.